So, this is a new look.
I mean, it's a vibe, right?
Yeah.
That's what the kids are about now, right? It's all about the vibes.
You're in your Elton John era.
I'm just in the drip era. I was told this is drip, right?
Yes. Yes. It's very Seth Rollins of you. Yes. Yeah.
There we go. See, I just started watching again, and I'm already into the swing of,
exactly.
of the mannerisms and stuff. So
yeah. So this is, yes, I picked this little modest number up yesterday because originally I was looking for like party hats and the little noisemakers that you blow into, and they,
sure.
Since it's not just St. Patrick's Day, it is your birthday as well, and you'd be shocked at how hard those items are to find.
You got to buy them weeks in advance. You got to get the St. Patty's stuff like the
I was just looking for birthday.
Valentine's.
Like I was just looking for regular birthday stuff. And yeah, I mean, to be fair, I checked at one Meijer location that I was at yesterday for work.
Okay, so you didn't really look. You were like passing by with a bag of chips, and you're like, I should get some birthday. I'm not gonna go.
No, I was like, this is where I'm at today that I know should have this stuff. And they didn't have it, so
they didn't have it. Disappointment. It's okay.
But my
mother-in-law came. Thank you. My mother-in-law came through with the St. Patty's gear for us. So
awesome.
Wearing this out to the casino tonight. I'm going to win some money, and it'll be a good night. I'm gonna do the Happy Corbin. I'm turning my life around at the casino. Nothing could possibly go wrong. Things are going to be great next week when I get here. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, you won't be wearing a stained white dress shirt or anything like that next week.
Or maybe I will.
Your hair all in shambles, and
I'll have sold my hair to make a mortgage payment. I feel icky wearing the green and white though, especially considering the Spartans are playing right now.
But, yeah, whatever. They'll probably blow it.
Yeah, hopefully. Whatever. But let's talk some wrestling.
Yeah. So, I kind of want to change things up a little bit this week because, the last couple weeks especially, I think I'll speak for myself. I've been a little, and I don't think it's been unfair, but I've been a little critical of AEW, and I watched Dynamite this week, and I think it was a very good show. There were 3 things in particular that I want to talk about from this week's episode of Dynamite, and I want to heap some praise on AEW to start this week.
And I think too, in our off-air conversations, I had mentioned that I've been a little unimpressed or kind of just not really enjoying what they're doing with the main storyline in WWE right now. I think we all kind of know where it's eventually going to go, and each week they're just kind of kicking the can a little further down the road. Until the major events happen, we've kind of talked the Bloodline KO into the dirt.
Yeah,
we got some other things we can talk about with WWE.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of touch on the rest of the announced WrestleMania card a little bit later. But as I said, we're gonna start with Dynamite, and Dynamite kicked off not a little bit different than normal. Normally they get right in the action and shy away from the opening promo. This week it wasn't really a promo per se, but it was the re-bar mitzvah of one MJF. And it devolved into an interrupting promo with all 4 pillars, which is, of course, if you're not familiar with that, it's MJF and Darby Allin and Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara. Those were the 4 young guys kind of pegged as the 4 pillars of AEW. Back when the promotion was first getting started. They were sort of the next ones, besides the Elite and Cody and Jericho and Mox and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, Tony has been pretty open in media about talking about his plans to make those 4 guys as like the foundation of what the company will be once the Jerichos and stuff move on. Inevitably, because at some point they're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
being there every week. They need to build people. So, it was not anything like you said, not anything like they normally do to start a show. But I think the segment as a whole kind of proved that if you limit how often you do those big opening segments, it can really make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I didn't see it live, so I kind of knew about it when I went to rewatch it. So the hype around it had been a little spoiled for me, but I'd say maybe halfway or 2/3 of the way through, even though I knew where it was going, man, this is really, really good stuff.
Yeah.
The sort of stuff that's been missing from AEW, it feels like, for a little while now.
Mm-hmm. If I had one minor gripe, I didn't like when during Sammy's portion. And again, this is something that we've been going back to about a few different things lately. But when he started talking about how everyone thought he was going to be the inner circle job guy and the bump taker for Jericho, like I thought that was kind of, again, you're kind of pulling back the curtain, not in a good way there. But other than that, like I said, that's a very, very minor complaint. Other than that, I thought all four guys just killed this segment.
Yeah, I don't mind the Sammy stuff as much because fans have said the same thing. And when Inner Circle started, that was kind of what people. So it to me, it's a little different than. See, I thought the stuff where they're pulling in MJF's fiance and Sammy getting in fights with people backstage was a little too much inside baseball, as opposed to Sammy talking about things that fans have actively said about him too. It's not just a backstage thing.
Right. No, I just meant like I have a like I'm and I guess I never used to really, it never used to bother me, so maybe it's just me getting older, but the stuff that like obviously we all know what wrestling is at this point, but when I'm watching the show, anything that kind of like in the purpose of like in quote unquote kayfabe, like what is a job guy, what is a bump taker, like that's what I'm more, what I'm kind of getting at there is that part. I was like, we probably could have thought of a different way to make that point, but like I said, it didn't take away from the segment at all. So, and it looks like we're heading for a fatal 4-way with the pillars. I mean, I'd be fine with that at Double or Nothing. We talked about last week about what would be what would be an acceptable main event for Double or Nothing, and I'd be all for this.
Yeah,
especially with two 2 months or whatever to build it. I'm all for it.
Yeah, well, and I think so. One of the things I noticed about the promo, and this isn't a knock on the other guys, but you could see MJF is in a completely different league when it comes to being comfortable in front of the live audience, having the live mic, being able to not just deliver what he needs to say, but deliver it with conviction and as the character that he is.
Mm-hmm.
I think by putting those three in with MJF, it's very much a sink or swim. You either get to his level and you're gonna keep being a guy that this company is based off, or if you prove you can't hang in this ring on this microphone, even at commentary, like then maybe you're not the pillar, because there's a lot of other people that could get that shot too.
Right.
But I thought you could tell a little bit. The other three were a little shaky. It's also probably the biggest moment they've all had in the ring. Maybe Darby's had a bigger one with the Punk stuff, but world champion kicking off the show, like that was a big deal, and they all passed.
And none of them I would really classify as quote unquote talkers either.
Yeah.
I mean, Sammy a little bit. He's done some decent work in the past, but Jungle Boy, that's always been kind of his Achilles heel. I mean, for the longest time, it was his gimmick that he just didn't talk. Like,
yeah.
so he's still working on that. And you can tell he's getting better and better as he goes. And Darby's more of the silent. He does his talking through those vignettes he produces and stuff like that a lot of times. But yeah, I think all three guys did a real good job. And they're all I liked Jungle Boy saying like, have you even wrestled on Dark? Have you ever wrestled on an Elevation? And then MJF coming back like, you had Christian, you have Sting, you have Jericho, like I've done all this by myself, like so it was
and they all had their different reasons for why they were upset with Max, and they're all kind of real thing. I love Darby's line about like people running and crying to Twitter because like he's an AEW original that like has never been a problem, and all the other ones have had it seems like they had some sort of thing going on with them. So like for him to be the guy that points out, I'm not the one that walks out on the company or complains on Twitter. Like I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
And one thing I don't know if you noticed, but the commentary when the announcers were kind of like getting in as it was going, Taz was fantastic. Like it's great to have a guy who actively roots for the heels. Like, mwah.
Yeah, and Darby too. His line, the way he opened his, he's like, maybe I'm just the worst negotiator, but I told Tony that there would be no bidding war for Darby Allin because AEW is the only place that would let me be me. Again, taking a little dig there at MJF, with his whole bidding war of 2024 thing that he's been speaking about for a while now. So just good stuff.
To sidetrack, MJF can kiss my ass. We all know Brett was the better wrestler. I don't want to hear it. End of story.
HBK.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever. Is there anything else you want to talk about that?
No, just great stuff. It's the perfect. I think the perfect thing they could do with the world title right now. To just because I think Max, we've said it. Max is going to have. I think he's going to have a longer run. This to me is a great way to continue that, elevate other people. I'm excited. I'm really excited to see where this goes in the next 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, then next we'll talk about a new addition to the women's division. This one was kind of. This one wasn't spoiled, but it was kind of heavily rumored. Most people thought she was actually going to be Jade's opponent, and that didn't end up happening. She came out after, and we're of course talking about Taya Valkyrie, who was in WWE for a short period of time, but she's wrestled extensively in Impact and Lucha Underground and AAA and stuff like that. So she comes highly regarded, a lot of experience, and someone to bolster the women's division. And we mentioned last week about Jade kind of not feeling like she had a direction, especially after she crossed 50-0. It's kind of like, okay, now what? Well, now it looks like we get her next big feud.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to be transparent. I know that much about Taya. I don't watch Impact on the regular. I can't even say on the regular. I don't watch Impact. It's never been something I've really got into. Her time in WWE, I wasn't something that, I was invested in. So I can't sit here and talk about what I think she's going to bring in the ring and stuff, but I know her reputation is someone that I think Jade needs to get in the ring with. And if they're going to keep building Jade, she needs to start beating legitimate, established, known commodities. Otherwise, it's Goldberg going out and squashing Alex Wright. It loses its luster.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that, like you said, she's known, she's been around the world, she has a name, wrestling fans know who she is. That's a lot different than what Jade's mostly been messing with, during her run. So I'm happy to see it. And also, with this Outcast thing that's going on, that group might need some more people down the road. Maybe it spills over. So I don't have a problem with it at all. And I do like that they didn't have her as the open challenge challenger, because she would have had to come in and take an L right away. And then what? It kills it. It makes her look, just another one.
Right. Yeah, no, I that's true. I initially I was like, well, if she's there, like, why wouldn't she just answer the chant? I mean, I know the reason is so she didn't have to take the loss, but again, thinking of trying to put logic in an illogical situation, as Bruce Pritchard liked to say a lot on his podcast, just overthinking it. So,
fuck Dave Meltzer.
Right. Yeah.
If we're just quoting things Bruce says.
Okay. Sure. We can go with that. But yeah, no, like I said, I'm excited for what she brings to the division, because I mean, another veteran who can deliver in the ring with some of these younger girls and less experienced. So,
yep.
And then, oh boy, here we go. They completely. I didn't think that they were headed this direction at all. Like, I thought that they were just that was just fans kind of projecting what they wanted, and I thought for sure that they were just gonna roll with Hangman and the Dark Order. But at the very end of Dynamite, we got a tease that maybe a reunion with the Elite is in order. Let's start with the first of the trios matches, the Dark Order versus BCC. I mean, just beating the hell out of each other.
A bludgeoning, I think, is the word you're looking for. That was a fight. It was a fight, and it was awesome.
It was, and Stu's back. They can't. I love I love how they altered the graphic where it said Stu Grayson is all Elite parentheses again. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I like Stu Grayson, but it's not like he was a coveted free agent. I felt like it was always just a matter of time before he came back, and do it in Canada, gets the pop and all that. I good for him. It's awesome that he's back working, but hell of a way to come back. Get thrown right into the mix of a brawl like that. Yeah. So they end up knocking. Was it the ring belt that they ended up knocking Hangman with? And so BCC picks up the win. And then later, like during the main event, right? They showed the picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
Of the two sides still like going at it in the back of the arena, which I thought was I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So then the main event happens, the triple threat trios match for the titles, which was fantastic.
A banger. Yeah.
The stuff with Kenny and Jericho, like them having to constantly like team up to deliver offense to Brody. Yeah.
I wanted, when we talked about this segment, I wanted to talk about, obviously we don't know, but I feel like Jericho laid out a lot of that match, because there were so many, and this is a little inside baseball, but there were so many little tricks that they used in that match to make that crowd like seething to get Jericho and Omega in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Like, man, Jericho is a master of his craft, and the first 5-10 minutes of that match alone was so well done. And then they got into the heat, and it was awesome. That match is exactly what I hope the trios division would be, and at times has been in AEW.
Yes. So House of Black retain. No surprise there. And then the fight from the back spills out into the arena, and just chaos. And it ends with Hangman in the ring alone, and the three members of the BCC on the outside getting ready to swarm him, almost Shield style. It was very reminiscent of the Shield.
I've got some thoughts on this. Yeah.
And then you see, on the opposite side of the ring, you see the Elite kind of pop up from where they were on the floor selling, and they slide in the ring behind Hangman, unbeknownst to him. This makes BCC back off like the heels they are. And so this is where my DVR cut out. Because full disclosure, right? I start Dynamite live most of the time. But then Wednesday nights, my wife has a thing that she does. So Wednesday nights are my night to put our son to bed. So usually I'll watch like 45 minutes or so live, and then it's time to get him to bed. And then I'll catch up after he's to bed, using the DVR. So as soon as the Elite get in the ring and BCC backs off, the DVR cuts off. And I'm like, whoa! And by this point, my wife's home, and she's sitting on the couch next to me, and literally the thing cuts out, and I go, whoa! And she just starts laughing. Because I'm like, what happened? Like, did I miss the reconciliation? Like, what kind of Luckily, I didn't really miss anything. He just basically...
No, you didn't miss anything because they overran their time. And one of my biggest complaints about AEW from the beginning has been just film the stuff right and make sure you have your time for your segments. Like another 30 seconds could have made all the difference in the world, but you could tell they went over time and they just had to cut. Your DVR probably missed 3 seconds of what actually happened.
Yeah, probably. I don't know how much they really had to cut, though. Like, I don't think we were going to get the big embrace or whatever there. Like, I think they got what they wanted to get.
No, they didn't, because they didn't show Kenny leaving the ring first and doing one of these in the ring at Hangman.
Oh,
and I think that, because if you watch the fan video, they're all standing there, and then Omega turns around and goes and walks out of the ring. And then it's just the Young Bucks and Hangman. And I think they missed that part of it. But even if they didn't, to just have that hard out like that, just didn't, like, especially that moment. Come on, we've been waiting for that moment for a long time. I feel like it should have got a little more play, but
yeah, maybe. I think that was probably Kenny playing to the live crowd, because like, again, it doesn't make sense. Why would he slide in the ring in the first place if he wasn't? He would have just stayed on the outside and not worried about it. If so, but yeah, I'm super pumped. I heard, or no, I saw. I think it was Jeremy Lambert on Twitter when he said that maybe the home that Brian was talking about was actually like coming back into the fold with the, because we've been talking about how they've been separate, and maybe he like just comes back into the fold with the BCC, and that's how you get your 4-on-4.
Well, and he also, by going home, he can recapture that violence and that aggression that maybe he was lacking in the MJF feud.
Right. So,
and I mean, come on, you're gonna put the 4 members of BCC in with the Elite. Like, you've got matchups for days there too. Like, that's a feud that you could run that through all out if you needed to.
Right.
So I'm all for it. I did want to. I said I had some thoughts. You mentioned the Shield thing.
Yes.
The only thing I wish they would have done different is when the brawl comes down from the aisle and gets convoluted. I wish the Bucks would have been fighting with the House of Black or the Jericho Appreciation Society up the ramp, and then it's Hangman by himself in the ring with his back to the ramp, and the BCC surrounds him Shield style.
Yeah.
And then that's where they slide in. Like, they look up, see that Hangman's in trouble, and go, oh shit, we got to get back there. I feel like that little tweak would have made it gone from a great segment to like, holy shit, how awesome was that? Like, but still, I mean, I've been saying it on here for weeks. I think They're getting back to the Elite reunion, and I'm ready for it.
Yeah, I am too. I think a lot of people are. I'm wondering how they're going to, because you can't have Hangman just tell the Dark Order to piss off. I'm going back with the Elite. Like there's gonna be some way of like some peaceful transition there.
I don't think so.
No?
I think he leaves, and eventually the Dark Order finds their new leader and turns heel, and then that's another part of the story. Because at some point, the Dark Order needs to be like, "What the hell, man? Like, no one ever helps you out. We're always there, and yet you never want us to help you. Suddenly, your friends come back around, and you want to, I think that would be normal human emotion. Like when you were at your lowest point, we picked you up, and every time we do that, you piss it away.
Right.
So
yeah. No. Yeah. They could very well go that route, for sure.
And I think it would make more sense for a group called the Dark Order to have a little more of a heel side to them.
Yeah, I suppose it's been long. I just have always said, at least in the moment, like it always felt like it was going to be kind of like we talked about when Mox came back from his rehab stint. Like it was going to be really swimming upstream after Brody's death to keep them heels.
Right.
But maybe enough time has passed now that where people would be more accepting of it.
Right. So. Hell, they could even bring Brody Jr. in and have him throw papers at people and say, I had to go find a real leader because you idiots can't do it without me.
Yeah.
If he can keep his grades up.
Exactly.
His mom says he keeps getting bad grades.
Oh, no. Is there anything else Dynamite related?
Thank God Jeff Jarrett didn't win.
I was so upset. I was very heartbroken.
Oh, God. I was ready to be like, I can't watch. I don't care what you do. I can't watch this. There was something else I wanted to mention about the commentary, and it slipped my mind now. But the gist of it was like, I feel like this group of Tony, Excalibur, and Taz is really working well together.
I love
what Taz is bringing. Because he roots for the bad guys, but it's not blind. It's really made the show more audio friendly to me than when the other three just talk over each other like they did.
Yeah, I love it. There's some people who they're not down on it, but they think that they are the three of them try and pop each other too much instead of just calling the action.
And I agree with that.
Sure, but I mean, I'll take that over, God bless him, but 70-something-year-old JR at this point just ain't doing it for me. So
sure,
I'll take these three any day of the week. So.
Well, and not to belabor the point, but having a real heel presence in the booth, makes the show that much more understandable and reliable. And I like.
He's a heel, but he's not like the unreasonable heel, like like a Heenan or a Jesse, where they would like. The stuff that they would say in defense of the heels just didn't make any sense. Like Taz definitely leans more towards the heels, but he's also like he adds enough unbiasedness, I guess, to give him some credibility still.
Yeah, he's a broadcast journalist.
Exactly. He knows what he's doing. So, and I've always liked Taz on commentary, back when him and Cole were on SmackDown together. So,
yep,
yeah, good stuff. So, hopefully they keep this up, and the build to Double or Nothing is much better because, they got some stuff.
Revolution wasn't a great build, but turned out to be a great show. Let's hope we get the great build and the great show.
Yeah, like that. I mean, is that too much to ask? I don't think so.
I don't know. We're about to talk about this WrestleMania card, so
Yeah,
evidently it is too much to ask.
evidently. Let's talk about it. So I thought we would it'd be fun kind of here at this point where we're a couple weeks out, and we've obviously we spent a lot of time on the main, angles plural with the revolving the bloodline and Cody and KO and Sammy and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it'd be fun. We've got quite a few matches officially announced. So thought it'd be nice to just kind of run through them and just like give a 1 to 10, and whatever criteria you want to use, whether it's the build or the match itself or a combination, just kind of give your kind of interest level.
Sure.
2 weeks out.
Sure.
So let's start. Let's start with the what I guess is rumored to be the main event of night one, which is Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title.
Build, I don't like the build because there hasn't really been a whole lot for my liking.
Yeah.
In terms of the match, I'd call it a 6 or a 7. I couldn't go much higher because I assume Rhea's gonna win. It all signs point to that's kind of the next thing. But then again, Charlotte, LOL, Charlotte wins. Like, she has a history of winning all these big matches. But in the ring, I have no reason to think it won't deliver.
Yeah.
But the build and the kind of foregone conclusion in my mind is 6 or a 7.
Yeah, I'm at an 8. The build hasn't. I mean, like you said, there hasn't really been much one, but I really enjoyed their match in an empty performance center from 3 years ago. I mean, obviously, I thought the wrong person won, but
it was a little short too. I thought it could have been a little longer.
Yeah. And who knows, because it was taped, so it could have been edited down. Who knows? But yeah, I enjoy. In fact, I believe when we did our draft with Joe and Jeremy a couple years ago, I believe that was the women's match I chose, was that one. So I really enjoyed that match, and I'm excited to see it again in front of people with the roles that Charlotte's not a great baby face, but I think she's been doing pretty good since she's come back in that role. And Rhea, you just can't deny that, Rhea's on fire right now as far as her popularity with the audience. The Judgment Day thing it's remarkable how that thing has turned around the last 6 months or so. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I see a lot of people who are saying that they got the matches wrong, that they should be flipped, and I just don't agree. I think Rhea and Charlotte is the way to go, and Asuka and Bianca, because as much as Asuka needs revenge for her loss to Charlotte, Rhea does too. And I think it's more important for Rhea to get hers than it is for Asuka at this point. And again, I said it last week. Rhea said it in an interview. Her and Bianca have plenty of time to square off. So
well, and I mean, look, if Rhea wins and goes to SmackDown, then you have a strong young champion on SmackDown. I not to jump ahead, but I think Bianca's going to retain. But I think she is. But I wouldn't be running to DraftKings to throw money down on it either. I could see Asuka winning. But Bianca wins. You've got a strong young champion on Raw, and those two can again really start to build up their legacies for an eventual clash of the Titans, so to speak.
Yeah, well, let's just go roll into the Raw Women's title match, the aforementioned Bianca Belair versus Asuka match. I'll start. I'm at like a 7. I'm just slightly below. I think the build for this has been even weirder than the one for Rhea and Charlotte, because they're trying to do the almost the Brett Shawn WrestleMania 12, where it's like they're not really there's not really any animosity between the two of them yet. Like,
yeah.
They're kind of just like, I respect you. I'll see you at WrestleMania type thing. You know, Asuka basically just comes out, keeps saving Bianca from Chelsea Green and Carmella, and then pointing at the sign, and then that's it. I mean, we're getting the can they coexist tag on Raw this coming week. Haven't had one of those.
Spoiler alert. They can't.
Yeah. She's gonna accidentally spit mist in Bianca's face.
Or Bianca will hit her with the whip with the hair, and something will happen.
Yep. But yeah, again, I'm the match itself, I think, should be really good, and like you, I think it could go either way. I'm leaning toward Bianca retaining.
Yeah.
Because I don't see any like, if you wanted to have build a new streak, like, I think Bianca's a pretty good person to do it. I mean, obviously, she probably, you know, no one was ever going to match Taker's streak, but I think if you wanted to have, you know, something similar, I think she's a good person to do that. And I mean, beating Sasha, Becky, and Asuka 3 years in a row is just a pretty good run.
It's a nice little start.
She's had it. She'll have it a year by that point, so I could definitely see them just switching it up and going with Asuka too.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the card, it feels like there's potential for a few title changes, and I think we both agree that Rhea is if one of the two women's titles is changing hands, it's Rhea's to win.
She has.
So
to.
I don't think they're going to switch them both up. So and look, it's they're in a win-win. Either one of them of Asuka or Bianca is incredible champion. You know, I love Asuka.
Oh yeah,
Asuka, like, she's like, out of all the women, she's like my favorite one to watch in the ring. So I'm all about, you know, giving her a main roster title run at some point. But I just don't think right now is the right time to do it.
Like, outside of Becky, I think they've got the four best women in these two matches that they could have right now. So
sure.
Let's go with an easy one. Brock and Omos.
This is my time to go take a Wicked Lester match of the night, where I've got nothing to say good about this match. They had to do one physical move, Christopher.
Yeah.
They had to be physical one time, and they botched it. Brock should have got on that plane, flown back to the middle of Manitoba, and just stayed there. I could not care less about this match.
So I'm putting you down as a 1 then.
Is there a negative on the scale?
No,
Wherever the negative,
it's just 1 to 10.
Can I choose not to cast a vote?
You would like to abstain? Sure.
Yeah, whatever the worst possible option, that's where I'm at.
I mean, this is like golf, where, like, you have a max. You know, this is a minimum. Like, you can't go any lower than 1. So I'm just gonna put you down as a 1. It's like I shot a 7.
Make it this one. This is the one. That's
fine.
my thought on the match.
That's fine. That's where I'm at too. Is a 1. Like, I'm with you. That's, you know, we'll have to. Hopefully, there's a video package, so we both, you know, because I'm assuming we'll probably watch WrestleMania together. So hopefully, you know, we'll have to, like, you know, not obviously we won't be able to go to the bathroom at the same time. So
sure.
Hopefully there's at least a video package to extend it a little bit longer, so we both have time. But yeah, other than that, then yeah, this is definitely, or go get food. Maybe that's what it'll be. I'll go.
I mean, ideally they put out the run sheet, and it's the first match on one of the nights, and I don't even have to start the show. I can go do something else until 15 minutes into the show.
I don't know. I don't know if that would be an opener, but I could definitely see it being like second, so Brock can get the F out of there afterward.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just open the show with the two monsters. First night, Brock wins. He's gone. Never comes back. Perfect.
What else we got? Oh,
I've got one.
Go ahead.
I think you and I are going to be drastically different on this. Seth and Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we are because I'm at I'm at a 7. Like I can't. I think that match is going to be awesome.
I'm sure. I mean, if Shawn Michaels is teaching them the match for 6 weeks, it damn well better be awesome. But I don't know. I'm sure the match itself will be good. I don't like this celebrity coming in, getting a top spot just has no reason to be there other than he's Instagram famous. That's it. It's a waste of Seth. It's a waste of a main event spot. Don't care.
Yeah.
But the match, I'll give the match a 7. I'll say that. The build, I think the build has been like a 3 or a 4. I don't like when you're going into the biggest show of the year and we're getting like one segment every 3 weeks. Just not for me.
Right. There's too much Miz involvement too.
Right. Well, that's because one of the guys in this match has no business in a WrestleMania top spot, and he has to have his hand held to get through it. Like, I don't understand how you're like, oh, this is good.
What, the build? I didn't say the build was good.
No, just any of it. Like, I can't see being excited about any of this because the one of the guys in there has like, it's probably elitist, but he has no business being in a wrestling ring right now. But they, because he sells energy drinks and acts like a jackass on the internet, they're like, let's put him in. He's got a bunch of people watching. They'll show it on his podcast, and Pat McAfee might talk about it. Like, I don't know. I hate it. Everything Seth said about him, like, I know it wasn't kayfabe and it was part of the story, but I was keep going. Keep it up. Right. This is all true.
Yeah. Hey, does anyone else on the WrestleMania card have a cardboard cutout of themselves at Country Market right now?
No, but the Miz is in a cardboard cutout at Little Caesars.
Oh, is he?
So now we just got to find where Seth's got a cardboard cutout, and
exactly.
We'll steal all the cardboard and act out the match ahead of time.
Sounds good.
That's probably how Shawn's having to teach Logan how to put his match together. It doesn't look like he can read very well, so they probably have to like literally tell him how to do it. So
yeah. All right. Let's do the women's trios match. Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, and Trish.
Yeah, I would go 5-6 for both the build and the match. I said last week, I think it's a little disappointing that Becky is kind of lumped into this and Bayley isn't getting, a one-on-one WrestleMania match. But this is going to be a solid mid-card, get a couple legends out there. I don't have a problem with this at all. And I think it'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm at a 6 as well. So there's a lot of scuttlebutt that Trish might be turning heel.
Yeah.
Are you for, against? What are your feelings on that?
Oh, I don't hate it at all. Because isn't the rumor she's going to turn heel and possibly face Becky at SummerSlam?
Yes.
I mean, that'd be a great match for Detroit. Like, yeah, I'm all for it. Like, and especially with this could be Trish's last little run, Mm-hmm. It's not to say she physically can't do it. She looks incredible out there, and I'm sure she can still wrestle. But at the same time, if your last run is coming in and doing a WrestleMania match and then getting a one-on-one with the biggest female star of the last 10 years at SummerSlam, that's a great way to go out.
Yeah, shoot. Heck yeah, for sure. What else do we have left? Edge, Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell.
Build.
Oh, okay.
To steal from Ty Dillinger.
10. Wow.
Match wise, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
If it wasn't WrestleMania, I might be a little more excited. If we haven't seen Edge in a gazillion of these matches, might be a little more excited. But it'll be solid. It'll be a lot of tricks and gimmicks in there, because I think part of this is Edge can't go out and deliver a 30-minute Matt classic.
See, I think he could. He's got Triple H syndrome in that he thinks that having the longest match of the card means that you had the best match on the card.
Yeah.
And that's not always the case.
I meant that from a sense of like, he's been back for 3 years now, and he seems to get hurt every couple months.
Well, yeah, that's
more of what I was getting. Is like, if he has to go out there and do a 25-30 minute technical match where he can't take a break with some of the gimmicky stuff and the smoke and mirrors, I think this is a better way for him to have like a big time match and not have to do as much.
So just do a 15 to 20 minute match then. That's fine. Yeah, that's all people want from you.
But if this thing's been building up for 9 months now, this is kind of the way you need to end it. The demon can come back because he's going to hell.
Yeah,
I get
it. He did. Finn made reference to the demon on Raw this past week, so we might be getting the demon back.
No, there's no might. It has to be Demon Finn and Brood Edge. Edge needs to come out to the Brood music. Yeah, like let's do this right. Like let's.
I before that, like the spectacle of it, like all the build, like you said, all the lead into it, like the pomp and circumstance going into this match is gonna have me hyped. I'm just worried that 20 minutes in and it's looking like we got another 15 to go. Like, is it holding my attention? Because that's, again, I love him. I love the guy, and so happy he was able to come back and finish things off on his terms. But he's just been, like I said, he's been on his. I don't know if it's because he's an actor now or what, but like he tries to do this overact, like just. I don't know. It's just what he perceives as good storytelling in these matches, and it's just not for me.
It's kind of like Shawn at the end of his career, where every match he did the thing where he was leaning on a guy because he couldn't hold his weight up anymore, and laying on the mat for 2 minutes to really sell it. Hey, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I think that's all that's been officially announced, right?
Yeah, because Ray and Dom isn't
official yet.
We're gonna find out the IC title match tonight.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah,
I think that ends in either a double count out or something.
Right,
we're getting that triple.
Right, we're getting that triple threat. Yeah, that's where it's going.
Someone was like, Sheamus and Drew on St. Patrick's Day, like they're about to go out and murder each other.
Well, and Barrett's going to be on. Barrett will be on commentary too, so they'll get the little United Kingdom flair.
That's been like one of the best things. So like low key is like the way that Sheamus is like feeling betrayed because Drew the IC title is the only thing that Sheamus has left that he hasn't accomplished, and like that's all he wants is to get that IC title, and like Drew's like, well, I want it too. And like for Drew, it's just like, hey, you've had your couple chances. Now it's my turn. Nothing personal. Right. He said it last week when they were one of their pull aparts. He's like, we should be out having a beer. Like, what is your problem? Like,
yeah,
this isn't. But Sheamus is, irrational. Because again, for him,
he's laser focused.
He's laser focused, and I think it's great. And Gunther's like, I said a challenger, one, not multiple. So
right. We did miss Cena and Theory.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm like an 8 on that one.
Yeah. If John comes around again, I'll be more interested. I think having him come out 1 week and just destroying Theory. He eviscerated that kid, and with good reason. Like that guy, I'm at a 7 or an 8 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
At the point now. I think the match will be good. I think Cena's going to want to prove, you still got it. But also he's going to want to make sure that Theory, gets to his level. John's always been big about like, I'm not coming down to you. You got to rise up to where I'm at. And I think he's going to want to put on a performance that makes Theory's star shine even brighter.
Yeah. Shout out to Will Washington on Grapsody. I was listening to their show yesterday, and he made the point, and I never put two and two together, but especially the last, I don't know, X amount of years, probably the last 10 years or so, the matches where Cena talks the most shit is like, that's the tell that he's going to lose the match. Like that's his, yeah. He did, the first Rock match was that way. Everyone was talking about how he got the better of Dwayne, and that was kind of by design, like, because he was going to lose that first match. And then the next year, I think Dwayne kind of got the better of Cena in the second year build, and that's because Cena was going to win. And then both times he's faced Roman was the same way. And so, yeah, the Taker, even though that wasn't really a match, but like he spent all the build up to that WrestleMania just burying Taker, trying to coerce him into that match, and it was because he
sidebar to that. Did you see Undertaker's interview this week or last week with Ariel Helwani?
I've seen a couple
where he thought that match was going to be like a 35 minute match. He trained for that, got to the arena that day, and was told what was going on. And he was like, I spent months getting ready for this thing.
What a rib.
No, but you're right. That is kind of seen as kind of MO. And I think this kind of return was for Cena to kind of give his stamp of approval on a couple people.
Mm-hmm.
Neck Tattoo got his rub.
Yep.
He's going to do something for Theory. I would assume Cena will come out the night after WrestleMania and if he wins, do the open challenge thing that people expect, or just to be in front of that crowd one more time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm looking forward to that. I think that's going to be another solid mid-card, like, I'm not going to check out on Twitter during that match sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, I know you got to get going, so we'll end it here. Yeah, we'll be back next week. Oh, plugs. I didn't do any of the plugs. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, subscribe on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, all that jazz. 5-star rating and review. I think that covers it. 5 stars. 5 stars. Because unlike other rating systems, that's as high as it goes. So.
Well, you heard what I said earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. We'll be back next week for more wrestling talk, and again, we'll keep saying this in preparation that we'll probably be WrestleMania heavy next week, but then if Dynamite is another great show like it was last week, we'll be forced to talk about it. So let's hope for that, because yeah, I just want all wrestling to be good. That's it.
Yeah, I just want to I want to enjoy, what I'm spending my time on it. And I mean, not to say that it's been terrible, but the build to WrestleMania has been a little shaky. It's been a little slow.
It has been. And
we got 13 days. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. But and I'll just go back to what I've said. Look, if Revolution was free, I would have watched it anyway, but it wasn't. So, and if WrestleMania was, well, no, because my guy's going to win the title, so I probably would still buy WrestleMania, but
he's not winning.
He's going to win.
He's not winning.
He's going to win.
No, he's not.
Dude, I'm going to press stop. He's going to win. We'll see you next week, everybody.